One heart emoji. That's all it took to detonate the life I knew. My wife, my future, all gone in a flash on her phone screen. So I pointed an old camper van west and just drove, not knowing that the woman who'd ask if I had room for one more was waiting to rewrite my entire map. Welcome to Hidden Love Stories, where we believe the most profound journeys are often those we never planned. Today, we share a story not of scandalous affairs, but of a heart shattered by betrayal, finding an unexpected chance to heal on the open road. Can a chance encounter truly change a life's direction? If you've ever found hope in an unexpected place, we'd love to hear about it. Your likes and subscriptions help us bring more unique tales of the heart to light. My name's Leo. I'm 38. I used to live just outside of Indianapolis, in a quiet suburb where nothing really changed, and that's exactly how I liked it. I worked in logistics, nothing fancy, but it paid well. My wife, Chloe, worked at a dental clinic. We were married for 6 years. We didn't have kids, but we were trying. That was the plan. That was the life, and it was a good life, or at least I thought it was. Chloe and I had our routines. Coffee in the morning, groceries on Saturdays, takeout on Fridays. We talked about names for our future kids. We dreamed about buying a cabin in the mountains one day. She laughed at my bad jokes. I held her hand in the car. I thought we were solid. I really did. Then everything fell apart in the span of one message. One stupid message I wasn't supposed to see. Her phone was on the kitchen counter, and I wasn't even snooping. It lit up. I glanced. I wish I hadn't. It was her boss, and she replied with a heart emoji. I didn't even know how to react. I just froze. For the next few hours, I tried to convince myself it meant nothing, that I was overthinking. But you know when something deep down tells you the truth, even before your brain catches up? That was me. I knew. A few days later, I confronted her. She denied it at first, of course, cried, said I was paranoid, but I had already seen the full conversation, screenshots. I had the proof. She broke, told me it had been going on for months. That she didn't mean for it to happen, that it was just physical, that she still loved me. All the usual lines, but this wasn't a movie, this was my life. I remember sitting in my car that night, parked 2 blocks away, hands on the wheel, no idea where I was going. I couldn't cry, I couldn't scream. I couldn't even think. The divorce wasn't messy, legally, emotionally. Another story. We sold the house. I gave her most of the furniture. I didn't care. I just wanted to be gone. So I took the money I had saved up and bought an old camper van. A 2008 Dodge Ram conversion. White rusty on one side. Smelled like oil and old leather. But it started, it moved, and it felt like freedom. I didn't tell anyone where I was going. I just packed what I needed: clothes, tools, a cooler, my favorite playlist, and hit the road. No GPS. No destination, just drive. Indiana faded into Illinois, then Missouri. Windows down, wind in my face, phone in airplane mode. I stopped at a little campground near the Mark Twain National Forest. Quiet. Cold, beautiful. I made eggs on a portable stove and sat under the stars, wondering how the hell I got here. But for the first time in months, I felt something close to peace. I wasn't okay, but I wasn't numb either. It was a start. I didn't have a plan. I just kept driving. Some days 200 miles, some days I just found a spot by a lake. I stopped looking at the clock, stopped checking the date. All I knew was that I couldn't go back. I didn't know it then, but that van, that journey was going to change everything. Not because of the places I saw, but because of someone I hadn't met yet. It was about 2 weeks into the trip. I'd made my way through Missouri, dipped south into Arkansas, then wandered toward New Mexico, just following the scenery. Some nights, paid campgrounds. Other nights, rest stops or public land. Wake up with the sun, make coffee, drive until something made me stop. I didn't talk to people. Not rude, just no energy for it. I wasn't running from anyone, but definitely from something. One afternoon, I pulled into a small, quiet campground near Santa Fe, found on an old printed map. Beside a dried-up creek bed, a few picnic tables, fire pits, and one other van parked at the far edge. The sun was setting, the air golden calm. I parked, stretched, started setting up. Camp chair, portable grill, heating some canned chili. Bluetooth speaker playing something soft. Then I heard a voice. "Excuse me," it said. "I'm not trying to be weird, but do you have room for one more?" I turned. She had a backpack, a worn hoodie tied around her waist, dusty jeans, brown hair in a messy bun, a cautious but warm smile. "Around 29, maybe. No makeup, just real." I blinked. Sorry, what?" She smiled again, a little embarrassed. "You just looked like someone who wouldn't mind sharing a fire for the night." "I've been hitching for a few days. My ride dropped me off here a couple of hours ago. I was on a camp solo, but the last 2 nights I had some sketchy encounters." She trailed off, shrugged. "Honestly, I just need a quiet night." I hesitated. Not because I thought she was dangerous, but I wasn't used to unexpected company, especially not someone like her, kind, open, at ease. I nodded toward my extra folding chair. "Yeah, sure. You can sit." She dropped her bag gently, exhaled with relief, and sat like she hadn't rested in days. "I'm Maya," she said. "Leo." We shook hands, firm grip. "Thanks for not being a creep," she said. I laughed, a real laugh, the first in a long time. She warmed her hands by the grill, took some food I offered. We talked, light stuff first, laid off from her vet assistant job 2 months ago, lease ended. Packed a bag, started hitchhiking, not reckless, just stuck, trying to unstick herself. No kids, no partner, no real roots. Parents retired out of state, hadn't spoken to her sister in years. Not bitter though, seemed at peace with the chaos. The more she spoke, the more I saw something familiar. That blank slate feeling, that need to move just to feel alive. The look of someone knocked down hard, but still showing up. We sat in silence after the sun dipped. Fire crackled, stars emerged. "You know what I miss?" she said. The sound of nothing, not traffic, not texts, just nothing. I nodded. "That's why I left." "Left what?" "Everything." She didn't press, just nodded. "I get that." Eventually, she stood, stretched, pointed to her tent. "Thanks for letting me sit with you. It helped." She paused. "Hey, crazy question. Where are you heading tomorrow?" I shrugged. "Nowhere specific." "I've got no plans either," she said, half smiling. "If you're heading west and you wouldn't mind, I could tag along, just until the next town." "I won't take up much space." I didn't answer right away. Looked at her, not flirty, not manipulative, not desperate, just honest and real. Something clicked. "Yeah," I said. "Sure, I've got room." She smiled. "Cool." "I'll bring breakfast." I nodded. "Deal." That night, I lay in the van, wondering why I'd said yes. Wasn't planning to let anyone in. But maybe I just needed someone to remind me people weren't all bad. Or maybe I didn't want to be alone anymore. The open road can bring unexpected companions and unforeseen turns. Do you think this chance meeting is the start of something new for Leo, or just a temporary solace? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you're intrigued by where this journey might lead, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Hidden Love Stories. The next morning started early. A knock on the van door around 6:45. I slid it open. There was Maya, holding 2 cups of gas station coffee and a small paper bag. Didn't know what you like, so I got black and a couple of egg sandwiches. Oh. Probably terrible, but it's all they had, she said, her smile like a childhood memory. I took one. Perfect. She climbed into the passenger seat without asking. It didn't feel like an invasion. It felt natural, like she belonged. And just like that, we started driving west. Our first stop was a scenic overlook in Arizona, not on any famous route, just a place you pull over because the sky is too beautiful to ignore. We parked, sat on the hood, drinking coffee, saying nothing. It became a habit, driving in silence, stopping when something felt worth it, talking only when it came naturally. She wasn't one for filling quiet moments with chatter. I liked that. When we did talk, it was easy. She told me about the animal clinic, naming rescue dogs, getting bitten by a parrot. I told her about logistics, office culture, spreadsheets, fake smiles. She laughed. You don't strike me as a spreadsheet guy. I wasn't, I said, but I was good at pretending. Over the next few weeks, we made our way through Flagstaff, then Sedona. Campgrounds, dirt roads, sometimes a motel for a real shower. She offered to pay her share. I never let her. It wasn't about money. It was the company. She had this energy like she belonged to the road. Head out the window, wind in her hair, making up silly songs when the radio faded. She cooked soup on the camp stove, insisting on plastic spoons because it just tastes better that way. At night, we'd build a fire. No pressure, no expectations. Just 2 people trying to forget a world that hadn't been kind. One night in Utah, under a sky full of stars, I finally opened up. I was married, I said quietly. She waited. She cheated, I added, with her boss, said she still loved me. Said it didn't mean anything. But you don't sleep with someone else by accident, you know? She nodded. No, you don't. I thought we were solid. My forever. I was planning our future while she was destroying it. I'm sorry, she said, and I believed her. No pity, just understanding. What about you? I asked. She hesitated. I had a boss who promised me a raise. Instead, I got laid off. No warning. We're going a different direction. I'd built my whole life around that job. Didn't even see it coming. We sat quietly. The fire popped. She looked over. You know what the worst part is? Not the betrayal, not the loss. It's the silence after. The part where everything's gone and you're just there. I nodded. Yeah, that part. No drama. Just 2 broken people finding the courage to feel again. Days passed like minutes. Back roads through Nevada. Camping without cell service. Cooking on the van stove. Washing clothes in rivers. We sang to old country songs, danced badly at a gas station. She made everything an adventure. Grocery shopping an event, fixing a flat tire, a team mission, traffic a chance for trivia. And me? I started smiling again. Real smiles. She joked about my terrible cooking. I made fun of her for never remembering where she put her toothbrush. Effortless, natural. At some point, she stopped being a passenger. She was part of the journey, the best part. One night in Oregon, at a campground surrounded by pines, she stood barefoot on a rock, arms out. If I disappear into the woods, don't come looking, I'll be fine. Not a chance, I said. She grinned. Good. That was the night I realized I was falling for her. Quiet, steady, undeniable. She made the road feel like home. For someone who'd lost everything that felt like home, that meant everything. Almost a full month together on the road. Our route, marked on a map taped to the glove box, made no logical sense. Zigzagging, doubling back, skipping famous places. It wasn't about sightseeing. It was about feeling alive again. We reached Northern California on a Sunday. Cold, damp, quiet. Maya was curled up in the passenger seat, feet on the dash, wrapped in a blanket. I drove slower, not wanting the trip to end. That morning she'd asked, "Do you ever think about what happens after this?" I hadn't answered. I had no idea what to say. We pulled into a campground near Shasta Lake, not the most scenic, but peaceful. Like a place you end up at the end of a chapter. Tall trees, distant mountains, the silence we both appreciated. We set up camp like always. She gathered wood, I handled the fire, shared the last of the chili. Routine, home. After dinner by the fire, it felt different, heavier. She poked the coals. "I think this might be my last stop." I turned, unsure. I didn't plan this whole thing. It just happened. Supposed to be figuring out my next move, but I didn't. Just kept going. And now I feel like I need to stop, pick a direction, plant something. I nodded slowly. "I've been thinking the same." She looked at me. "So what's your plan?" I shrugged. "Honestly, I don't know. Started this trip to get away from everything, then you showed up and it stopped being about running, but now it's like we're floating. No anchor." She smiled. "That's kind of beautiful, but also kind of terrifying." We sat in silence. Fire crackled. Wind rustled. Then she said something that knocked the wind out of me. "You know, I've never felt more like myself than I have this past month." I looked at her. "I've been around people who made me smaller, quieter, less me. But with you, I feel like I'm not pretending anymore." I didn't say anything. Just watched her. Not romantic, deeper. Trust, connection. "I feel the same," I finally said. "Used to think my old life was everything. House, job, marriage, but none of that felt as real as sitting here with you, eating canned chili, listening to crickets." She laughed softly. "Canned chili is the key to my heart." Then quiet again. Looked at the fire. Her voice dropped. "What if we don't overthink it?" "What do you mean?" "What if we just decide something together, right now?" I stared. Then she said it. "Let's get married." Shock. Not because it scared me, but because it made perfect sense. And that terrified me. I chuckled nervously. "You're serious?" She nodded. As serious as someone could be next to a fire in the woods with soup breath. We laughed. Silence. I looked at her, face lit by firelight. The woman who'd climbed into my van and rewired everything I believed. And I said, "Yeah, let's do it." She smiled, big, unfiltered. "You're not just saying that because you're tired of driving alone, are you?" "No," I said. "I'm saying it because for the first time in a long time, I know exactly who I want to be next to." We didn't hug, didn't kiss, just sat, staring at the fire, quietly deciding something bigger than both of us. The next morning, we drove to the nearest town, found a courthouse, asked about a marriage license. 2 days, they said. So we stayed in a motel, ate bad Chinese food, watched TV in silence. But there was this strange comfort in knowing, not fear, just quiet, calm certainty. Those 2 days, we walked around town, buying nothing, saying little, not romantic traditionally, just presence. Being fully there, together. And when the time came, we signed the papers, stood before a sleepy clerk in a beige office, and said, "I do," in jeans and sneakers. No guests. No flowers, just us. Perfect. No champagne, no online posts. After, we sat in the van under a tree in the courthouse lot. Maya leaned her head against the window. I sat, hands on the wheel, breathing, not nervous. Not overthinking, just steady. Eventually, she turned. "So, Mr. Husband, where to now?" I smirked. "Anywhere you want." We drove north toward Oregon again. Maya had always wanted to see the coast, Cannon Beach. "Then let's make that someday today," I said. The van rattled. Maya kept saying, "Don't jinx it, we're almost there," trusting the van more than I did. We reached the coast 3 days later. Late afternoon, foggy, colder than expected, but beautiful. Rugged cliffs, sea air, the beach. She jumped out, pulled off her shoes. "Told you," she grinned, barefoot. I watched her walk toward the waves, arms out. That image stayed with me. We stayed near the coast for a few weeks, parked in small towns. Picked up side gigs. Maya helped sell honey at a farmer's market. I fixed a fence, cleaned a garage for cash. Not glamorous, not big money. Simple, enough. We found a small cabin in the woods near the coast, rented month to month from an older couple. No Wi-Fi, barely any signal, stove heat. We took it. That first night, I cooked badly. Burned the rice. She laughed until she nearly cried, reminded of her dad's chili mishap with cinnamon. We both laughed. We got used to the quiet. Wind in trees, creaking floorboards, morning coffee by the open window, just breathing. Two strangers, now married, now at peace. People say love takes time, needs careful building. I get that, but sometimes when two people are broken in the same places, they just fit. No blueprint. Just something you feel. We didn't talk much about the past. It stopped being relevant. My ex-wife, her betrayal, the pain, it didn't follow me here. Maya still had bad days. I did too. We gave each other space, didn't try to fix it, just existed beside each other until it passed. After a few months, we decided to stay. Bought the cabin, needed work, but I'd learned enough. Planted a garden, second-hand furniture. Maya made jewelry from shells, sold it locally. I picked up odd jobs, repairs, deliveries, hauling, made enough to live. More importantly, we made it feel like home. One morning, about a year after we first met, I woke to pancakes in the ocean, walked into the kitchen. She was there, hair messy, singing quietly, wearing one of my old t-shirts. She looked over. "You know, this is the happiest I've ever been." I didn't say anything. Just walked up behind her, wrapped my arms around her waist, kissed the back of her neck. We didn't need plans, 5-year timelines. We had each other. That was enough. Sometimes when people ask how we met, we just say, "Funny story. We were lost. And we found the same road." They laugh, we smile, keep it for ourselves. This isn't the kind of love they make movies about. It's quieter, deeper, real, and it's ours. From a life shattered to a quiet cabin by the sea, Leo and Maya found their own unconventional path to happiness. What does their journey teach us about love and second chances? We cherish hearing your perspective in the comments. If this story of unexpected love resonated with you, please subscribe to Hidden Love Stories and give it a like. Thank you for sharing this road with us.